Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 473. The title of today's lesson is the difference between transvestite, transsexual, and transgender. Okay, if somebody wants a screenshot, do it right now. Okay, there is a lot of times confusion with students to know the difference between these. There is some crossover. It's probably a little clearer and a little easier to understand transvestite and transsexual. Transgender usually needs a lot more explanation to understand it fully. All right, let's start. A transvestite is a person who wears clothing typical of the opposite sex, especially for sexual pleasure. So that's his reason for doing it. In most cases, it's probably going to be men dressing like women. Could it be a woman? Yeah, but women usually have to go to a much further extent in order to look like a transvestite, because a lot of women can wear men's clothes. It's kind of normal, and depending upon how she wears it, she might even look sexy wearing it. But if she's going to become a transvestite, she'll probably have to wear like a man's business suit, slick back her hair, especially if she tries to wear a fake mustache or a fake beard. Well, then she's there. But it's not as easy. Probably the majority of cases you see of transvestites will be men dressing like women. All right, let's continue. Transsexual is a man who wants to become a woman, or a woman who wants to become a man and has already started the process of one or more operations to physically change one's sex or one's, to the opposite gender. Yeah, these operations are usually painful and they're usually very expensive to do. So that would be a transsexual. You literally, physically at least, changed your sex. All right, let's continue. If someone is transgender, it means that person does not identify with the sex assigned to them at birth and simply wishes to be the opposite sex. Yeah, so sometimes like you see this in the movies too. You could see somebody say that, I'm a man, born in a woman, or I'm a woman trapped in the body of a man. That's what you might see this in movies. This is kind of the idea when it comes to transgender. So let's continue. To clarify, one should examine further. If one is a transsexual, nearly 100% would fall into this category of transgender, because one would never go through such expensive and painful operations without really identifying as being the opposite sex. I can only really think of one case on some documentary channel I watched one time where it was a gambler. He actually made a bet with another guy that he would actually, have a sex change to get breasts, just for the bet. I think it was like for $100,000. The other guy didn't think he'd really go through with it, but he did. But in this case, he would not really be transgender because he was married. He had a wife, he had children, he was not attracted to men at all. He didn't really identify with being the opposite sex, so he would not be transgender. But that's the only case I could actually think of. Most people, if they go through all this trouble, they usually really identify with being the opposite sex. They are transgender for sure. Let's go on. All right, transvestite. All right, transvestite is a little more tricky. Probably most transvestites also fall into the transgender category, especially if they truly identify with wanting to be the opposite sex. However, there is a small percentage of transvestites who only do it as a way to get a sexual kick out of it. They don't really identify with the opposite sex. Many are married and are not attracted to the same sex. They have a wife, they may have children. I think a lot of the ones that fall into this category may be more like in the closet transvestites that probably mostly do it at home and don't risk going out wearing it much. But yet some of them might do it too, because I don't know, they just get some sort of a kinky feeling of a sexual kick out of it. That's their main goal. There are also some performers may cross-dress just for performing. That's totally different, though. They might just be doing it as part of their job for entertainment, to make people laugh, or whatever it is that they're doing, in a movie. They would definitely not be transgender if they don't identify with the opposite sex or they're not attracted to the opposite sex. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, however, this is another very important point. However, it is still possible to be transgender even if one is not a transvestite or transsexual. You simply need to profess that you desire to be the opposite sex. It's a little bit like what I said before. Like if somebody says, like, they're a woman trapped in the body of a man, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to change their clothes. And this is where some of the problems came in the U.S. when some companies changed or had the policy of having transgender bathrooms, because any man could just end up walking into the woman's room and say that they are, transgender, and there was no way to know because they're not dressed like a woman. They obviously did not have an operation. So some people suspected that maybe, this might open the door to some people that are more like perverts. They just want to go into the woman's bathroom either to spy on women or possibly even to spy on small children or something along that line. So this is where some of the problems have come in when they talked about the transgender bathrooms. But you can understand that was the problem. All right, let's continue. And we have 3 examples to show exactly how we use this. Some gay men choose to be transvestites. Yeah, there's a lot of gay men that are not transvestites. They still dress like men, and they're still attracted to men. They have sexual relations with men, and they don't dress like women. But on the other hand, there are some that really want to be the opposite sex that may do that too. Okay, let's go on. Bruce Jenner eventually became a transsexual at the age of 66 and changed his name to Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah, he was the famous Olympian when he was younger, and then he finally came out that I guess he was gay and he had these feelings, and he went through with it, and he actually had the operation to change his gender. Okay, so he would be both. He would be a transsexual and a transgender. Okay, number 3 here. Some companies have allowed transgenders to enter bathrooms that were previously just for ladies. Okay, or if they have transgender bathroom, it just might be open to anybody. So I guess it's kind of like a unisex bathroom. All right, well, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope this clarified it more. Let me know what you think. Okay, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.